All right, I'm on YouTube. You guys should go on YouTube. Let's start. When you guys are ready, let me know.
Le lien YouTube est dans le chat pour ceux qui ne l'ont pas.
Who is Madeline Kemnen? Who's that?
I think it's
It's it's me, sir. My laptop have an issue, and I'm connected with my phone, and my phone have my mom name. Maybe it's that one. It's Jean Temgo 51.
Jean, what, 51?
Yes, sir. I have issue my
51.
laptop. Yeah, 51. Yeah.
You're the one I've been waiting. I've called you like 3 times trying to. Guys, put your numbers, please. And after speaking yesterday, the same thing. See, today we are right here. We are 27 of us. I see 16 people on YouTube. I, you guys, seriously, I don't just know what to do with you guys. Don't you guys see that you just want to give me a headache for nothing? I've come well prepared for a class. You guys have started again. Ah, so If in 5 minutes you guys are not all on YouTube, I end the Zoom class and we go. I don't have too much time for talking to adults anymore. Guys, let us go to YouTube. Please connect. Connect. Okay.
Le lien YouTube est dans le chat. Connectez-vous, s'il vous plaît.
At least you guys will not blame me. You guys can see for sure that you guys are doing it, not me.
So I'm trying to reset my Gmail password, please. Give me a minute, please.
All right. Let me see. Who will fall today? Let me share my screen. Okay. Let me fall on a name today. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who? 1, 2, 3, 4. Who is this? Who will take it today? Let me see who. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The lucky one today is Bryant. Okay, Bryant, open your mic. Let's discuss. Okay, the
Ouais,
rest,
mhm.
yeah. Welcome,
C'est
Brian.
possible
How
du
are you doing?
French.
Oui, c'est possible en français.
Okay.
No, 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 no. I wanted someone in English. Okay, let me go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Um, who will share? Okay, Christelle, you're the next. Open your mic. Good morning.
Good
Okay,
morning,
it's good afternoon or it's good evening.
good
Okay,
afternoon, sir.
great. I want to have a discussion with you today, and it will be a very good discussion. Simple but good. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, yes.
Do you have a brother?
A brother.
A
Yes, I
brother
have
or a sister?
who?
A brother or a sister? Do you have a brother or a sister?
Yes, I have one brother and 6 sisters. Yes.
Oh, okay, good. We just, all right, this is Crystal right here. Um, this is Crystal right here. Crystal has one brother and 6 sisters. All right, Crystal,
Yes, sir.
can you give me, um, I don't want you to call it at least, even if it's not right. I don't want you to give like right information, okay?
Okay.
Can you give me your brother's number? I mean, do you know your brother's number offhand?
Okay. Yes.
Do you know all your 6 sisters' numbers offhand?
Yes.
What? You do?
Yes. Yes.
That's crazy. Okay. Do you know your friend's number
No.
offhand? Now, if I ask you what's your friend's number, what will you do?
I need to check on my phone.
You need to
I need to check on my phone. On my
you need to check on your phone.
yes.
For sure, you know that your friend's number is in your phone, right?
Yes.
Okay. If this is your friend's phone right here, if this is your friend's phone right here, your phone right here, where you go to check, maybe your friend is Amina and the number is what? 75896. Okay.
Okay.
This is each time that you want to check for your friend's number, what will you do? You type what?
I tap
Her
her
name,
first name
Amina.
or her last name. Yes.
You type Amina and the number will come up, right?
Yes. Yes.
Great. So in other words, the number is holding, the name is attached to a number. You see, it's the same thing. Now, if you want to call Amina, what do you do? I type Amina and the phone will use the phone number to call. Is that true?
Yes.
Because if you write only Amina without the phone number and you call, will it work?
No. 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 I need. No. 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 No.
Okay, but if you write only the number without the name, will it work?
Yes.
Great.
If I
So, Christelle says that if she writes only the number without the name, it works. Now, all of you, you've been using SSH. You've been typing what? The IP address of the machine that you built, the VM you built. For example, you've been using this to SSH. Is that true? Hello, are you guys with me? You guys, I want to see it on, yeah, you guys have been using this to log in, to put it into your machines. That's good. But now, who has tried to use the name of your host name? Have you tried to use your host name? Jocelyn, have you tried to use your host name?
Mm-mm.
Hmm. Okay. Now, if you use your host name, what will happen? Does your host name work? If you try, for example, do I have VirtualBox here? I don't even know if I have VirtualBox. I don't even know if this will work because I've changed my network. Yes, Dario. I'll just use my servers. I can't be doing this. I won't use yours. You already know how to build servers. Dario, oh no. I don't want to be opening my stuff online. You guys, stop texting me, please. It's popping up on the live thing. Okay, let's see. Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes, sir.
Let me clear my screen. I won't have no network, I'm sure. Yep. Uh, NMCLI connection. No. This one's. Mm. Let me use a different VPN profile. And this profile does not allow multiple network. Let me get out of this profile. Great. I think this profile allows multiple networks. It doesn't. Mm, okay. I wanted to use this. All right, that's fine. Let me just get out of VPN. This should work. Why should it not work? Guess I'm not pushing my connection right there. CMD, okay. Too much Linux. Mm, IPv4 address is 15 to 15. Let me see IP8. What do I have here? Okay, I have a 10. All right, if I have a 10, it won't work. A 10 won't work. Okay. NMCLI connection. NMTUI. Nah, this is too much work. Maybe I do /etc sysconfig. Oh, yeah, there's a network manager system network bond 0. Bond 0 connection. Okay. Let me see what's the IP again. It's 192 something. 192.168.0.200 over 24 and 192.168 dot 0.1.0.1. Okay. That's it. I save and create. Premise. Let me see connection down button. Let me see connection reload bomb 0 system CTL restart network manager. Okay, we good. All right. So I came in here to show you something, right? To have network and show you something. Oh, so your friend told me that if I want to log into this server or I want to call my friend, I need the number. You see, hostname CTL. The hostname of my server is reposerver.lab.example.com. Okay, so if I bring up my party session right here and I do an SSH to maybe Gfry add, I put the host name reposerver.lab.example.com. Okay, that's the name of my server, reposerver.lab.example.com. Now my laptop needs to know, you see, just like my phone, my laptop needs to make sure that it can find the IP that is tied onto this name, else it will not work. Why? Why? I want to see your answers. Why? Uh, Jocelyn, open your mic.
Yes, sir.
You said name and resolution did work for you.
Yes, sir.
How did it work? What did you do for it to work?
You have to configure the DNS, or if there is no DNS, you have to change the file of the local host.
You have to change what?
The
The
file of
local
the local host.
on your Windows laptop
Yes,
to include the name, right? Is that
exactly.
what you did?
Yes.
Or you did
Yes.
include it in the DNS server?
No, in the local host.
Okay. All right. Between DNS server and local host, which one takes precedence? Okay. That will be an assignment for you. Okay. Hello?
Okay, sir.
Do you know
Yes, sir. You asked me
that
to
quelle prend la priorité entre localhost et DNS?
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right. So this right here won't work. I know this will not work because I could not, can everyone read the message? Could not resolve host name. Could not resolve host name. Example.lab. This service not known. You see, computers do not talk with names, just as your phones do not talk with names. Your phone talk with number. If you ask someone for their, when you meet someone and you want to see them again, do you ask them for their name or their phone number first? Okay. Someone said their phone number. Good. You ask them for their phone number and you tie it to the name. What name should I register it under, right? You say, what's your phone number? You don't say what's your phone, you don't say what's your name. What phone number should I register it on? You say what's your name, your phone number, what name should I register it under? It's the same thing. Now, if I want to go to YouTube right now or Google right now, this laptop, my laptop does not know, my laptop does not know, my laptop will never know what YouTube means, the name YouTube means. But if I do a dig on www.youtube.com, great. This is the IP address of YouTube, right? These are the various IPs that you have for YouTube. This is what we call a DNS query. A DNS query. Now, a DNS query I think someone who is Sean. Yes, we're talking about Linux, DNS. We're going to configure and build a DNS server, both doing forward and reverse records and all the like. Okay. So this is a DNS query. A DNS query has multiple parts. There is the part for the name server. There is a part for the query itself. Okay, there is a part for the query. There is a part for the answer. You can query something and not have any answer. It's normal. And you can query. Let me use Potty and get in. Let me get in through mobile extend so I can demonstrate better. Okay, it's 192.168 something something. Okay. One nine two dot 168.0.200. Yes. Okay, so I did a dig on www.google.com right here. You can see you can see the answers. So I have 6 answers right here. And I said there are various parts to these answers that we've gotten. We have um, we have one query right here, and we have 6 answers. It's telling me, I dig forward, okay, www.google.com. It says www.google.com in address this, this, in address. This A is an A record in address, IPv4 A record in address 1, 2, 3, 4. It's showing you the various IPs, right? Now, query time, the time that it took to query the server. The time that it took to query was 31 milliseconds. And the name server or the resolver that we queried this information from, that went and looked for this information for us, is 1.1.1. which is, this is Cloudflare's resolver. Then the port was 53. Okay. So each time, if I say curl www.google.com, curl www.google.com, you see, now this transaction right here that I did a curl www.google.com, my server, my repo server, did not know what www.google.com is. So what happened when I did a curl www.google.com? This was the first thing that happened. Let's go through the process. Okay, sorry. What? All right. This was my server right here. And I did a curl, this is my repo server. I did a curl.www.google.com. So in other words, I said, what is www.google.com? That's what I did. My server was like, well, I don't know, but I can forward the traffic to the DNS server. How does it know the DNS server to forward the traffic to? When you guys were setting networking, I taught you guys how to put the DNS server, right? If I cat /etc resolve.conf, if I cat /etc resolve.conf, cat /etc resolve.conf, you see, my DNS server or name server in here is 1.1.1.1, which was the server that I gave my own server, that if ever I query a name, if I write a website, you don't know that website, please go to 1.1.1.1 and look for it and ask. The 1.1.1 can look for that for you. That's what it literally did. That's why when I called a dig www.google.com, it told me that, hey, I got the answer from 1.1.1. All right, so this is what happened, right? When I did a dig. So this is what happened when I did a dig. My server did not know what google.com is. So it sent out information using which port? Port 53. Asking 1.1.1. I configured my server to send it through 1.1.1. So it said, hey, 1.1.1, what is google.com? This is the 1.1.1.1 server. It's so fast. Maybe this server is in Germany. Maybe it's in the United States. Maybe it's in the Middle East. But you know the way connection is fast, right? It can be anywhere in the world, but it reaches out to this server. It's like you and I, you can call someone in another end of the galaxy in less than no time. That's what technology has given us. All right, so when you ask, it came here and said, what is what? It queried this resolver. We call this resolvers. It queried this resolver and asked what is 1.1.1. The resolver said, well, I don't know. Why? Because this resolver does not carry these records. It just goes out and find what? The records. Okay? It goes out and find the record. Sorry. Okay. It goes out and find the record. You see, with DNS, there's something called, this is called like the DNS tree. Okay. This is the DNS tree. That means each server, each DNS server, there is something called the DNS tree, which we have domains, subdomains, and all the like. We have domains, subdomains. Then we have the root, right? We have the root domain. Why, you ask me, why do we have these namings? Why are we naming these things? Like, what's the reason for us having all these names? You see, when computers started, they used to keep they used to keep records in here and let me see. They used to keep records in here. If I vi intro slash etc host before the 90s, they used to keep records in here. So each computer in the world had the same etc host file, so that so much so that we mapped they used to map what IP addresses to what host names in here. But it was not very practical as more servers were coming, like more servers, people were creating more server, having more servers, building more servers and all the like. They realized that it was a lot of headache maintaining that list. It was so much headache maintaining that list. So DNS was created. Because imagine having like 10 million records, you have to delete one. And if you delete one, you have to go on all servers in the world and delete it also. So it wasn't very practical. So the DNS system was developed. And with the DNS system, we had the root. The root only keeps information about the top level domains. And I think there are like 12 root servers. Let me see images. I want to take a better image that's a little bit clear. All the images I'm seeing, none is clear. All right, are you guys seeing my screen? Okay, so we have the root domains here, all right? We have the root domains here. Oh, let me see. Let me look for another image. Okay, better image. All right, so, well, see, this is how it works, right? Um, there are like 12 root servers, as I mentioned. There are like 12, I think there are 12 of them now. I don't know, but I think 12. So and they are named with A, B, C, D till like F or G, something like that. So there's the A root, F root, G root, and all the like. So these servers host only records for the top level domains right here. They host only records for the top level domains. Reason being that okay. So reason being that, well, let's do like a DNS tree walk. Okay, let's do like a DNS tree walk, and you understand why it hosts only top level domains. Like now, we have a .com, .edu, .org, .net, .gov. These domains are being hosted by the root servers. The root servers know this information. Then the top level domains host other records that are under them. So they host records for these other ones right here. For example, if now let's do the work for the google.com. Now, you see, with this image that you're seeing here, let's say your server right here. Okay, great. Let's see this. Okay, let's say your server right here ask for what? I need directions to www. I need the IP address of www.google.com. I need the IP because I can only go out to an IP of www.google.com. Well, in here, we did point it to our resolver 1.1.1.1.1. Now, my server sends that request out since it doesn't see anything in Etsy host. It sends that request out to the resolver, which is the 1.1.1. The 1.1.1 server does not host any records. It's just a resolver. It will help you go out and look. The 1.1.1 will contact the hierarchy starting from the root, which is it's always represented with a dot. So the root is always represented with what? A dot. So it contacts the root. So you've sent your request right here. And what happens is this now goes and contact the root. That what is the IP address of www.google.com. You see, the root domains holds only records for the top level domains. Now, what will the root do? The root will say, well, I do not host the records for www.google.com. The root servers, they are all synchronized. There are like 12 of them, all synchronized. It will say, well, I do not host the record of www.google.com, but I do host the .com. This is the only part I know. And the IP address of the .com server is maybe 10 or 101.102.103. Go ask this guy. I know that, I know for sure that I am hosting the .com.edu.org. So I have seen at least the .com, the part that I have, and the IP address of the server that is hosting the .com is this, right? Now, the server will now go to the .com. Let's say these are other DNS servers that are right here. Let's say we have other DNS servers here. right? The .gov, .edu, so .gov, .edu, .net, .com. So these are the servers that host any records, the second level domains. So they host any record, anything that is google.com will be hosted by the .com server, the .com DNS server. Anything that is what? .gov, something maybe harvard.edu, the records will be hosted right here. Okay, the records will be hosted right here. Now, the root will only host the .com, this. Now, what happened is our server came here, asked, and it went up to the root and say, hey, give me the IP address of what? Dot what? Of www.google.com. The root said, I know of the .com server. Please go to the .com server. What happens is it goes to the .com server and say, do you have the records of www.google.com? It says, yes, I do have the records of www.google.com and the IP address is this. And it gives the record right here. It sends the record to your server and your server caches that record. If you want to go to .edu, it does the same thing. The exact same thing. It does this exact same thing. It goes out to the dot. Now, if I do a trace here, let me see. Um, okay, if I do a dig here, dig for www.google.com plus trace. Okay, I'm tracing the path. I'm tracing the path that it used. You see, when I asked the question, the request went out through, of course, 1.1.1. What was the first thing that was checked? You see, what was the first thing that was checked? Hey, it said, hey, the root server, the A root, the B root, the C root, the D root, the E root, this. Do you host records for what? Do you host any records for? It checks all these servers and say, do you host any records for www.google.com? It says no. I do host for the .com. You see the second level now here. If you can see here, this is the dot, which is the top level domain as we were demonstrating. Now, it went down to the .com servers. These are the .com servers, right? It checked all the .com servers and said, do you host the records for google.com? He said, oh, yeah, I have google.com in name server. Hey, this server right here is hosting google.com. This server is also hosting. This one is hosting. They are hosting all these, what, names. And we have them here as www.google.com and the IP address is this. The IP is this. The IP is this. Is that understood? Or should I take it again? You can see right here, I traced out my dig command. And you see, it started with a dot, then went to the .com server. When from the .com server, the .com server knows www.google.com and is hosting that record under what? The name server. This is the server that's actually hosting the record. Okay? So it gives out that record that dig. These are the IPs. Same thing with YouTube. Now, let me check for anything with .gov. Um, should I .edu? Let me go to the Harvard side. Harvard University. Great. Okay. Now, if I dig plus trace harvard.edu, you see, you see, you see, it went out, checked the root said, hey, the root said, I do not know, but I know .edu. I host records for .edu. Root said, I do not know what harvard.edu, but I host the .edu records, and the servers of the .edu records are this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And it went to the .edu, the query went to the .edu record. It recognized the record because it's actually hosting it. And these are all the servers that are hosting the .edu records. You can ask your questions if you want to, if you have questions. Now, let me see. Let me see. Let me dig for news.harvard.edu. See. Okay. As you can see here, when I said news.harvard.edu right here, let me see. You can see it. No, let me not enter into CNAMEs. That's fine. Let me keep it at this level. Let me just keep it at this level. You should first of all understand this. All right. Now, if my server hostname CTL set dash hostname to repo server dot crystal.com o.com. If I say a .com, these records are not publicly being hosted. Let's just create .class. Okay, yeah, let's say .com. And I dig for repo server .this.com. I actually get a public IP address. Do you know why? Because these are public records. Now, some of you go to GoDaddy to buy. If I go to GoDaddy right here, let's say this is GoDaddy right here, right? This is GoDaddy. I want to buy a domain. Search for domains. I want to buy a domain right now. Maybe I say crystal.com. They will actually host the records for you. You can buy and they will host these records for you publicly so that you can actually own that domain. You can own Crystal. YouTube, they host this. They are able to like write your records into the .coms, into the .com servers, right? Let me keep it simple. So when YouTube wants a domain, they buy also domains. YouTube.com. It's already owned by YouTube. So no two people can own the same domain, right? YouTube is already owned by someone. So that's why you can't just like buy it and order. Like you can't just buy youtube.com because it belongs to someone. I have my own domains. So for example, this is my domain here, zindavia.com. This is my own domain. You can't buy it. You can't buy this domain. I own this domain, right? Domain token. You can see here that domain token. I do own this domain. If someone wants it, they'll come to me and be like, "Oh, I want your domain," but no, I'm not selling it for nothing. Now, The question that you ask is, why am I teaching you all this? Within your own environment, within a workspace, there are 10,000 servers, 20,000 servers, or 5,000 servers, and each of those servers have IP addresses. Can you remember 5 IPs? Are you able to remember 5 of your IPs or 10 of your IPs? No, you can't. So in a work environment, what happens is, instead of hosting records on the what, or buying 10,000 or hosting records publicly, we build our own what, DNS server. We do build a DNS server, then and point our etsresolve.com to our own DNS server in such a way that if any server of ours wants what, wants the host name of this other server, let's say this is the monitoring server, you don't know the IP but you want to check it, you just type here monitoring dot maybe crystal.com. He goes here and say, hey, give me the IP address of monitoring.thecrystal.com. He gives the IP, it uses it. This one, each time you want to do anything, it goes up here on our DNS server and resolve it for you. Is that understood? All right. So what are some of the applications that are used to build DNS? Someone said, Philly, you did not, you're not understanding? Someone said, explain more. You need your total concentration on these people, else you're gonna lose your mind will go OT. Some of you, if you don't know it already. That's what I'll just split with you guys. Your mind is gonna ask you questions that you don't even know. Okay, so this is the same thing that we just said, right? Philly, what you and I we're going to do is, I mean, this is just the root domains, the top level domains. We have the DNS servers and all the like. So what you and I will try to do is we will build our own DNS server, which our root also will be in here. Our root will be in here. Also, we'll just build one. You can build one that has like a multiple that can behave as a resolver and also host DNS records. So we will build our own DNS server so that each of you, when you want to SSH with your POTI, you can just get up and type reposerver.this.com. It will SSH into it. Okay. Now, some of you, when you're going through what vCenter, you type gifvcsa.gfri.hub. It takes you right there. I am hosting this record local. I'm hosting these records right here on my server. Interesting. Okay, no, let me not take you guys deep. Okay, I'm hosting this record locally. That's why you're able to, and I point if you do an NS lookup or a dig on this, if you're logged into VPN, you see the name server that's giving you those records. The name server does not mean those records are being hosted on that name server. It's hosted somewhere, but the name server is actually, because my own is built separately as this one is. But today we're gonna just like build one. We're gonna build one and use that one and see how it works, how records are being hosted and all the like. It's been so long I haven't built a DNS server, so I hope my brain is still fresh. So an application that we use to build one application that we use is ISC bind. These people, I think they host the F root, or I think they are very good. Bind. So ISC bind. They do like manage one of the root servers. Okay, they manage one of the root servers. So when we want to install DNS, what we do is we start by getting the application. Let's say this is an application that helps us build DNS. Let me see. I can't quite get. I don't know. Let me see. I'm just trying to get this thing. No, this is just lines. Products by 9. Okay. Okay. INC bind. These are the various versions. 9.18 new and stable version. So these are the various versions. Let me take this one and see. This, you see, these are the installation instructions right here. It's saying that for you to install your DNS, you need to have what? You need to install or enable this copper repository right here, which is where their repository comes from. So I need to do DNS install, DNF install apple-release. Let's see if that will work. Okay, let's go step by step. All right. Okay. All right. So you say DNF install apple-release. Unable to match packet apple-release. What do we do here? What do we do here? We stop. Now let me do DNF install bind and bind dash utils. Okay, that's fine. Let me not use ISC bind. I don't want to complicate stuff for you guys. So this is a software that helps you in building DNS. So I am installing these two packages because I want to build my own DNS server. Remember what the DNS server is. I want to build a place where I can store my own numbers. So if I do yes, install, it's installing. It has installed. It has finished installing. Let me see. Great. I hope it's been like 3 years I haven't touched this thing. But God will help. Okay. All right. That is installed. That is installed. So if I cd to slash etc named cd to slash etc named, this is where this is the configuration file. Oh, what is it? Named.conf. Yeah, it's vi to slash etc sorry, it's named.conf. Named.conf. This is the configuration file for DNS. Okay, this file is very, very case sensitive. When I mean it's case sensitive, seriously, I mean it. It's really case sensitive. If you make any error in here, it's a problem. Okay, any error in here, it's a problem. Okay, so let's say this is our file right here. We have our file here. So you see, it's listening on port 53, which means that it's listening on port number 53, which means that any traffic that will come to this server on port 53, it will listen to it and it will serve it anything that's in here. So we need to be able to somehow tell our DNS server, what IP to use, right? This is V6, this is V3. So it's listening on localhost, then I can add the IP of this server also there. 192.168.0.200. I put also a semicolon right here. Okay. So I'm saying, by doing this, I am saying this server that I am logged into right now will become a DNS server. Where are you going? Okay. Okay. All right. So it's good I should be drawing this thing because this thing is really, really, it's kind of, it's a little bit complex, but not too complex. Some people might know it already, but for the new ones, you might have some difficulties with it. Not difficulties, I mean, it might disturb you a little bit just because you like typos too much. That's the only reason why it will disturb you too much. Because you guys do like a lot of typos. Okay, let me be drawing it and going. I think that will be better. So we are turning this server into a DNS server. Okay, we're turning this server into a DNS server. So what we did is we installed the application. We installed the application named which bind, which is the software that will help us in turning this under this. We say listen on port 53, which means we are opening what? We are opening port 53. We're opening road 53. Opening it, that means anyone that comes in through port 53, respond to that person. Anyone that uses this route to come in, it's open. Well, firewall can block it, but now we're saying listen on port 53, then the IP of the server. So now we are saying anyone that uses this IP and come in on port 53, push him to this application called bind. That's what we're saying. Please follow each step carefully, very carefully. Because if you don't, I repeat again, you'll get confused. And when you get confused, it will be so much difficult for you. Okay, listen on the what? IPv6. I can decide not to do IPv6, and these files are not the same with what the normal VI files that you know. This is how you put a comment in this file. This is how you put a comment. It's not a hash as normal as we do with bash. That's enough. So the directory right here is /var named. You'll see why this directory /var named is in here. This is where we will actually go to host our records. Okay, this is where we will actually go to host our records. I mean, for now, this is enough. This is enough to get your DNS server out and working. Now, allow query. That means allow query localhost. That means only this server can send query. For example, if someone says, what is google.com? Maybe say my server A right here is coming. Server A right here is coming and saying, what is google.com? Allow query means allow this person to ask that question, what is google.com? I can say allow query to everyone, right? I can say allow query to everyone in the world, which I can put any. Any means everyone in the world. Remember, I put my semicolon. You have to maintain the space, everything. I say any, allow query from any, but this is a bad idea. Once we build a DNS server, we will come and change this and put only trusted network. And you'll see how that is done. I don't want to do it now, like it will confuse you more. Great. You see, in here, these are some records. These are some domains. I can put my domain here. Oh, you see right here, they say include. These are two files. It's like sudoers.d. The sudoers.d file is an include file. It's sudoers is the file, but sudoers.d is what? An include file. So this application has also include files. It says read for what? The zones in here. Or you check in here. You check any of these files. Now, this is where I would like to keep my own zone information or my zone data. If I VI into this file and put anything inside, when the application reads this configuration file, it will read that file also. So I go out, I save and quit. That's all I change inside. So what I changed was just this. I can put a different group. I hope I didn't make any errors. So this is all I did put inside, but I can add other parts, which are forwarders, right? Forwarders. Why am I adding forwarders? Forwarders. Why am I adding this? Let me say 1.1.1 is one of my forwarders. 1. 8.8.8.8. Let me see. Let me do 1.1.1.2. Then I close my forwarders list. What am I saying? I'm saying here that whatever question that anyone asks you and you don't know, forward that question to 1.1.1. Is it understood? I'm saying whatever question that anyone asks you, if you do not know that question, forward that question out. Also, send it out also, since je ne connais pas, right? Je ne connais pas la réponse. I don't know. You forward it out to any of these servers and receive the answer, then send it back to the person. It's like someone asks you something, you say, I don't know, but let me go ask this person. He might know the answer. I'm saying, because why am I doing this? If I set all my servers to what? This server right here to be their main resolvers, every server to talk to this and ask questions. Well, if I limit it only to this one, whenever this person asks for www.google.com, am I hosting www.google.com here? No, I'm not. I'm just hosting the records of my own server, the names of my own server. Well, if someone asks you www.google.com, which you will not have, please go out and ask it, then bring it back to the person and give it to the person. So when you don't have any when this server does not host the record, it goes out and find the server that hosts the records and send it back to you. Okay? Great. That's why I'm adding this list of forwarders. Now, there's a named. There's a command that is used to check this configuration file. If there are any errors there, it will show me that there are errors. So if I do a named dash check, it's been so long for me, seriously. Named dash check conf. Okay, there's a problem. All right, do you see the problem? Right here. It's telling me all the things that are missing right here. So whenever there is a problem with this file, it will tell you. You see, it's telling me that all these files, all these things right here are missing what? Semicolons. That's one thing that is good with bind. I just go inside. It's telling me right here, line 25, line 26, line 26, line 39. They are missing all this. I can just say VI plus 26. It takes me right to the line, right? VI plus 26. It takes me line to line 26, right? I can put now, it says it's missing this, it's missing this, it's missing this, and it's missing this. I think that's what it's missing. I've put all of them. Now let's check again. Now it comes out clean. Do you guys see that? It comes out clean. Great. Now it comes out clean. I have modified my configuration file. Now I need to create my zone, my domain. For example, if my domain is Christel dot maybe Christel.devin or divin or Christel.okoli.penanjo or I mean, it's my choice, right? My domain is my choice, but it should not be a domain that's hosted also publicly. That's why we put .local, .hub, anything that is not hosted publicly, right? For your understanding, let's keep it that way. Now I need to go create now my own domain. So if I vi to /etc, name the RFC 1912, I think it's, I don't know, it's what? What? RFC 1912. Really? Is it? Name D dot, yeah, name D dot RFC 1912 zones. Great. In here, these are example of zones. These are example of zones right here. There's what we call a forward record and a reverse record. Mark this too. This is where most people see. There's what we call a forward and a reverse. A forward record binds the name to the IP, and the reverse record binds the IP to the name. If I don't know the name, I know only the IP. I can look for the name by doing what? Because I can also host records in reverse form. Is that understood? Do you understand that? Let me first come out and do that. You see, first I did a dig on, let me do a dig on www.google.com. Right, I'm having an answer. What if I knew only the IP and I did not know the name of the server? I do a dig -x on this IP. It will give me what? The name. It will give me the name. I mean, they can host the records a little bit different. They do host the records a little bit different. This is like high level DNS, but at least what you want to see here is if you get an answer out. If you don't get any answer, you won't be able to get any answer right here. So if I do maybe, let me check for, let me check for my domain. Dig for, no, no, no. I don't want to. This will like send out all my IPs and all the like, all my public IPs and all the like. I don't just want people attacking my stuff. Okay. So this pointer record, a pointer record is like a reverse lookup. You're looking in reverse instead of doing a forward lookup, you're doing a reverse lookup. A forward lookup is when you're looking for the name. You look for the name and it hosts in address, right? It hosts this. But pointer record, you can see that it is the IP in pointer record. It points to this name right here. Zig-X. Yeah, you see all of them pointing to like different stuff. But they all point to, there is a C name. There is a C name that they have. So there's high level, also advanced level DNS and the like. The more you learn, start by learning uh just a few like how just to build a simple DNS server. So if I VI now to what? If I VI back to /etc name the .rfc 1912 zones. Great. In here, the reason why I'm VIing in here is to put my own domain. For example, I can copy this one right here. No. I can copy this one right here and modify it. This is a local host zone. The reason why you do local host and it comes out, I mean, this is a local host zone. I just copied this one. So I just copied this one and pasted it down here. I want to modify it to my own stuff. So I said we can do, give me an example. You guys should give me examples of domain names that we should use. Guys, give me an example. Hello, guys. Throw examples, please. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Yeah, you guys should give me an example
Yes.
of domain names that we should use. Examples, please.
I wrote youtube.com.
Now, good. YouTube.com is someone's domain. It's someone's stuff. We can use something that is already public or someone else is using, right? Else, each time that we want to type youtube.com, we want to actually go to YouTube, it will give us a fake IP. It will give us an IP that's not the IP of YouTube because you always prioritize what is here first. It will not go out. You understand?
Okay, gferai.com.
gferai.com. Most of the times, I don't like using the .coms because the .coms are publicly managed, right? I can create any dot something. I can say maybe .amina or dot. I know that the root servers are not hosting any .amina. Yes, Linux class.gftech. Someone said that. Good. I can even say blue.green. And so someone said Linux class dot what dot local. Okay, Linux class dot local. Someone said dot local. Great. Now, you see, this will be our domain name. So we have our own domain name that we've created. So every server that we build in our environment will have this as the domain suffix. If it's a repo server, it will be repo server.linux.local. If it is so, if YouTube have other servers in their environment, it will be maybe management.youtube.com, this.youtube.this. So I'm having mine here, Linux class.local, monitoring server.linux class.local. Let me just call it linux.local. This is too far. This is too. Oh, class.local. Okay, it's class.local, right? Class.local. So now this file right here is where we are going to store our records. This file is where we will actually store the records of this domain. This file right here. So I'll show you the location of this file. Remember when we were in the configuration file, I said take note of /var named, right? So this file will be in there somewhere. Let's just call it let's call it let's call the file. You can change the file name. Let's call it, since I told you that there are two kind of records, let's call it forward.db. Oh, this is our database location. Let's just call it forward.db or database, place where we want to store our files. Allow update to none. This is very important. Allow update to none is just like, this is a little bit advanced for some of you. Dynamic, because I do DNS also, dynamic DNS. If you want to use DDNS, you use this one. Okay, you use this one, but this is a lesson for another day. Okay, that's all. I've created a zone. This is just for the forward zone. We need to do a reverse zone. Okay, this is where I'll say, if you've never heard me since this class started, I've never said take it the way it is, but today I'll tell you guys take it the way it is, because I can explain it. Yes, I will explain it, but if you want to block your ears, block your ears. Okay, our IP address is 192.168.0. What? 200. That's our IP address, right? Now, our reverse records will have the IP in reverse. Okay? Instead of having it as what? As 192.168.0 dot what? 200. We'll have our IP as 0.168.192 dot. Okay? Is it okay?
No, sir. Is that an IP address or just a number you gave it?
This is an IP address. Now, normally my IP address is 192.168.0.200, right? Now, the reverse record actually have the IP also in reverse, right? It actually has the IP also in reverse. Reason being that,
200.
ok, l'autre dit pourquoi vous commencez, please, pourquoi vous commencez par 0 lorsque les autres zones commencent par 1? Hey, this is a different IP. Some of you, if you do this, dig local host, clear. Let me see. Ping local host. Let me see. Let me clear. It's too short. It's pinging IPv6. Let me see. It's taking IPv6. I just wanted it to maintain IPv4. Let me force it. Let me do IPA. That's fine. See, you can see the IP here is 127.0.0.1. The person asking. You see? Great. I can see it. Thank you, CyberVibe. I can see it. Thank you, Komi. It's missing 200. It's missing 200. Great. I like that. You see, this is 127.0.0.1, right? But in reverse, look at what it is in reverse. For the reverse record, look at what it is. Instead of having 127.0.0.1, they're having 1.0.0.127. And Vanessa, ils ont, bon, ça c'est une autre zone. On est en train de créer pour nous. Et parce que c'est toujours en arrière. Donc, tu dois mettre l'adresse IP en arrière, OK? Backward. You have to put it backward for the reverse zones. Are we good to continue? So, because as an administrator, these are some of the things that you have to be managing and you need to have knowledge on them. You need to build them. You have to manage them. When they create new servers and all the like, you need to like configure DNS or add records and all the like take away records when you decommission servers, or maybe you might even have a job as well, someone that manages DNS with a company that manages DNS. Your job would be like mainly focus on managing DNS servers. That's it. System administration comprises of so many things. It's not only a single thing that you're doing. Okay, so we said you host the records in reverse. Okay, you do host the records in reverse. And let's call the file what? Reverse.db. Let's call it reverse.db. Oh, these are the reverse records, reverse.db. We created two zones. The first zone was the forward zone, which is class.local, and the other one is what? 168.192.0, which is the reverse zone. Because without the reverse zone, if you dig for the IP, you won't know what server it is. We save it. Now, we need to create our records now. We've created our forward and our zones. We started with the configuration. turning the server, we started with the configuration by turning the server to become a DNS server by modifying the config. We started by modifying what? The config. We went forward to edit the zones, to add the zone information, to add the zone info. Well, we created our zones, to add the zone information. Now we are going to start adding the records. Now we are creating the records now. cd2/etc var cd2/var, /var named ll cd2 data. Let me see cd2 data. cd bug. Let me see. named.localhost, named.loopback, cat named.localhost. Okay, these are, you see, the localhost zone that was here. This is their own information right here, right? They have their own information right here. Because if I cut, let me see. SSH2. Sudo dash su dash. So now, let me vi into /etc named.rfc1912 zones. Okay, you see, the zone right here, that was localhost. What was the file that the records will be kept inside? It was what? named.localhost. We created our own, which is forward.zb, but we don't have that forward.zb here. Now, the 192 here, what was the file that will host the records? The named.loopback, and we have it here, named.loopback. Mine is mine is forward.zb. It doesn't exist. Well, I'll have to type all these things. Why not just copy their own file and modify? Why do I VI and have to type all this? I VI, copy. Let me copy named.localhost to forward.zone. I make sure I come here and copy so that it will be the exact name that I have in here. I copy and I paste, right? So that I won't have any errors. I VI into forward.db. Great. In here, I need to put my server, right? Let me just put in here, I put repo server. My host name is repo server dot what? Can you guys give me? So right here, this at here represents my domain name. This at right here represents my domain name. Like, let me say if my server is let me see, hostname CTL, hostname CTL. This is my server, crystal.com, but let me change it to repo server. Hostname CTL set dash hostname to repo dot class dot local. Okay, hostname su dash hostname ctl. Great. We have repo dot class dot local here. That's the name of my server right here. So right here, this @ actually represents my repo server, the name of my server or the name of my domain, right? It represents the name of my domain, which is right here. Now, the name of the server itself will enter here. Instead, this @ well, this @ here still represents the name. I can maintain this @ or I can actually put the name, right? Do you guys want us to maintain the @ or put the name? Okay, let's just put the name. For this @ here still means this. Okay, so this now is what? An email address. If there are any errors, who should I send an email to? It doesn't matter the name you put here. This is just, I can put repo.mail.local. It doesn't matter the name here, but it finishes with a dot, right? Great. Name server @ here. @ here just means this same thing right here, which is still the name, right? Name server. My name server is this. That's my name server. repo.class.local. Let's say that's my name server. Now I can start putting my addresses. I can now say monitoring or monitoring in address what? 192.168.1.0.199. That's the name of my server. So what will happen now is whenever any server wants to like look for the monitoring server, it will use this DNS server. Now, this AAA stands for IPv6. Right now, we're not doing IPv6. Monitoring is that I can say next is maybe web. If I have a web server and I want to give it an address of 192.168.0.25. Now, the question you ask me is why am I not giving the domain name? Because whenever a request comes, it will put .class.local here, .web.local here. It will put that domain suffix for me. Okay. Now, each time I build a new server, I'll have to update this record. These are like serial numbers. This is when you have like two of them. You have like a master, first and secondary, and you are doing like a sync and all the like. But we will not do that now. We'll do that later on at some point. So I just have two IPs here. I can even put my repo server also, which is my repo in address what? 192.168.0.200. If I do a dig on this name, I don't get any response back, right? There's no response. Great. Let me just say I have this right here. That's all I need. That's all I need. Just for a start, that's all I need. And I VI into now the loop back one right here. I can copy this to what? Reverse. Our reverse records. Let me see. What was the name of our reverse records? VI to /etc etc /named dot rfc 1912 dot zones. The name was reverse db. Okay, I copy loop back to this. Oh, what did I copy it to? Okay, I copied it to. So if I VI to reverse, same thing. Same thing. So right here, I change this to the name of the server. Whatever thing I did put in the other one, I just put the same thing. What was it again? Let me cut it. cd to slash it's to slash var name the. Okay. Cut forward.db. Okay. It's the same name that I am using right here. Service of authority days. It's the same name that I am using. That's the same name. And you must finish this with dot, else it will join it. It will have to add the dot there. Else, remember we said root means dot. So when I'm saying dot here, that means this is final. Do not go elsewhere to go look for another root. So in name server, the name server is this. The name server is let me see. That's the name server. In address, the address is what? 192.168.0.200. Now, I can now start adding the pointer record. I don't want any IPv6, so let me just delete this for now. Now I can put 200 in pointer record. You see, someone said the 200 was missing in pointer record, but this is my name, .local. So I can put 199 in PTR, in pointer record what? Maybe monitoring server. This is my monitoring server. Monitoring server dot local dot class dot local. Sorry, dot class dot local dot local. Always make sure you put this dot. Without this dot, I can already see an error here.
Dot class.
Thank you. I can already see an error on this other file right here. Dot class dot local dot, yeah, we can put others. So the assignment was for you to build 4 servers. Those first servers did not have, they had names, right? But they did not have like DNS records. Now I can put now maybe 198, it's what 25. Well, another one is 25. The web server is 25. I put 25 here in pointer record, in PTR, in pointer record, web dot class dot local, right? Web dot class dot local right here. Okay, right. Let's just skip this view. That's fine. Just this view is fine. I can see an error already on this file. This file right here, there's no dot here, which dot tells you that this is final. This is the root. Do not go anywhere again to go look for root. VI into well, let's test and see if it will even show us these errors, if it will show us this error. Okay, let's test and see if it will show us this error. So systemctl start named an error. Systemctl status named. Okay, great. I can see that it started, but let me see. There's a zone that is class.local is not loaded. I can see that the class.local zone is not due to errors. It's not loaded due to errors. Well, let me see if I can check that error. Named dash check zone. Check zone -z. I think it's no, forgotten. I've forgotten so much. Class.local, check the zone class.local. Class.local, I've forgotten so many of those commands. Class.local, name the check zone class local, and the file that I want you to check is this /file this forward.zone. This is where the records are. Check this zone against this file. Okay, zone is okay. It says zone is okay. Okay, let me check the reverse. Okay, great. You see, there's an error on the has no address records. This does not have to. It doesn't need to have a forward record inside a reverse record. That's what I did. I think I did that. We had to reverse GB right here. This in address. This. No, it's not supposed to be there. That's what it's complaining of. You have an A and in address in a pointer record. Everything in here, everything in the reverse zone has to be like a pointer record in PTR record. Did I put the call name d dash check zone. Oh, all right. Name the check zone this. Great. Okay, has no what? The name server has no address records. This. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I know for sure that this file right here. Let me see. Yeah.
Monsieur, il y a elle qui manque au niveau de web class locale là.
Where?
Oui, elle en bas là que vous avez oublié quelque part ou bien ça s'est effacé.
Oh. Local. Okay, thank you. Oh, let me see. This is in name server. I think this should be in name server. This. Okay, let's check and see. Oh, God, Jesus Christ, I hate this thing. Oh, zone class local. This name server repo class dot local has no address records in this. Let me see. In service of authority, this. This is it. That's my service of authority. This dot local. Okay. Let me see. NS1. Yeah. Net server. Yeah, that's true. But I did put it here. Did I? I did put it here. Okay, let me bring it up instead. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Name server. You can call it NS1. You can call it anything. Or NS2. In address. It's complaining that it doesn't have an address. Let me see. In address. Yeah. It's been so long I haven't touched the NS. In address, let me see. In address, what is it? 192. In address, what? In address 192.168.0.200. Jesus Christ. I think that's it. It's complaining that the name server does not have an address. Let me see. Let me see your complaint now. What? Okay. Now, the thing is, when you make errors in this file, it's so difficult bringing them out. Let me see VI into this. Okay, let me move this. Let me just write it back. Move this to reverse this to, okay. Then I copy forward.zone, forward.db to reverse.db, and VI into reverse.db. I know this one is fine. Dot local, let me modify it. Dot, okay, escape, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now I have this. Okay. And I have, let me go in this one in address 192.168.0.200. Okay. And then I put 200 in pointer record. In PTR record, what's the PTR record? It's this. Let me just keep it simple first for now. And just test the file, not adding other records inside. Okay. Which one is it complaining? This is the reverse zone. Oh my God, look at what I'm doing. You see, I'm checking I'm checking class.local, which is a forward zone. I'm checking it against a reverse file. I am checking a forward zone against a reverse file. That's what was okay. I was supposed to be checking it with this one instead, the forward one instead. I was checking it against the reverse file, the zone information, VI into forward.db. Let me just correct this error that was here first. Okay. Let me see. Systemctl, sorry. Systemctl, start, name the systemctl status, name the. Okay, now you see everything is green. There was not like really an error. The only error was that I was checking like this class.local, which is a forward zone. I was checking it against the reverse records. If I do a named check config-z, named dash check conf-z So this is to check all the zones, right? To check to see if it loads. When you do a named check conf.z, it checks like every zone to see if there's an error on a zone. It might show you that there's an error in a zone. So let's see. Let's just add an error here by removing by doing by putting just this let me just put this in here and save. Let me see. You see, it omitted the other zones. You see, it's saying there's an unexpected error on the class.local has an error. So let's change it back. Vi to forward.this, remove this line, save, and great, everything comes back clear. Now, let's do a dig at what? This server. This is my DNS server. Remember we said listen to this server, right? So we do a dig at this for what? Repo dot class dot local. Okay, we get no answer. Wow, that's good. I like that. Oh, let me see, why are we not getting an answer? 192.168, okay, repo dot class dot local. So what happened? Oh, it's still going out. It's going out. It's going out. But this would have. Let me see. Let me remove trace there. All right, it's using this server. It's not seeing it. Systemctl. Okay. Let me see. Name the systemctl reload. Name the systemctl status. Name the. Okay. Zone class is not loaded. Why? Systemctl restart. Name the systemctl status. Name the. Great. When I created the error, I think it. Let me see. In address this systemctl status. Name the systemctl status. Name the zone is loaded. All zones were started. There is okay. All zones are loaded. Let me clear my screen and see. card4.db. I have this inside. So if I do a dig on monitoring.class.local, I do not get anything. Vi to /etc resolve.conf and change this to my DNS server, which is 192.168.0.200. I hope that's the DNS server. Okay, now it's using that DNS server. Okay, so why am I not getting that record? card4.db. Okay, who is the server though? Okay, we have. Let me check inside here if there's any error. Let me do a dig dash x for this IP. Nope, I'm not getting any answer neither for the pointer records. Okay. This is interesting. Let's see what's happening here. So why am I not getting an answer? I have my name server here. Class.local. Monitoring this. Monitoring in address this, web in address this. Hmm. All right. I didn't create any logs. That's a problem. Did I create any file? That can be. Let's see. What's missing from hint? Let me see. All zones are loaded. Manage keys. Completed. Okay. Let me see the zones that are being loaded. Zone class of local. Loaded serial. This. But this, all the zones are being loaded. So why don't I get a record when I get in? Let me change the serial to like 1 and see. Okay. Class.local has a serial of 1 now. Right. Let me check the configuration file and see if I'm blogging myself. bi into /etc named.com. Jesus Christ, time is gone. Let me see. Allow query from localhost on any. Right. Listen on 127, 192, 168, 200. It's listening on this tool. Allow query. It's allowing the query. So why is it not querying my server? And if it is, I do not see any reason why this should not work. I maintain this so simple, but at the same time, I don't know why it's giving me errors. Too big. All right, let me see. Setting false to 0. System city restart. Name the nope, not actually mix. Now I don't have any locks. That's the bad side of it. Systemctl status name the. All right, let me see. It says the zone is not loaded due to errors. What errors do I have in this file? Zone class.local is not loaded due to errors. What errors do I have in this file? Okay, at least it's telling me that there is an error in the file. So it's telling me there's an error in the file. All right, that's good. At least I know where to go. I know what's happening. Okay, there are errors in the file. What errors are in this file? Missing from hints. 192.2.2.2. Extra records in hints. Mm, Now let me turn off DNSSEC validation. VI to zone. VI to slash named.conf. Sorry guys that I'm troubleshooting in the middle of the class. Let me add this DNSSEC DNS security validation. DNS security validation. Let me set it to no. No DNSSEC validation. Systemctl. Let's see, name the dash checkconf. And set validation to no. Oh, yeah. DNSSEC validation. What's wrong? DNS. DNS security. That's validation to no. Okay. Saying what? DNS validation redefine here. Oh, it already exists. That's why. Oh, let me delete this one and look for it. DNSSEC validation. Oh, DNSSEC validation. It was already down here. Insert input no. Create this and all right. Now name the checkconf is good. Now VI into forward.gb. What error do I have in here that I can't see? Let's see, report this.com, class.local, dot, okay, and just put mail dot, the local Syria is one. Yeah, I have my name server right here. Yeah. Now I have monitoring in address this, repo in address this. No, but this does not simply matter. This does not matter. Repo in address that it doesn't even matter if it should be first. No. I mean, this is fine. I don't see any error with this. So what error is it complaining of? Journal CTL XU. Let me see. Okay. What zone is not loaded? This zone is not loaded. Zone class is not loaded due to errors. What errors? Systemctl restart. Name the systemctl status. Name the okay. Let me ping it down here and see what it will give. Let me do a dig down here. Sorry guys that I'm troubleshooting. DNS, Lord Jesus Christ, it's been so long I haven't touched it. Let me see, dig repo dot class dot local, dig repo. All right, I'll have to include. Now at this point, I need to include that would take too much time. If I want to rebuild this thing, it will take too much time. Okay. Honestly, I don't see any errors in that file. Why is it telling me that there are errors in the file? Right, I don't see any errors. But yet I'm not getting any records. I think I have some configs somewhere. Let me see what's wrong with this thing. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. You guys, give me a second. Let me see. Let me check my configs and see. Where do I have configs? Projects. Things should be in my projects. I don't know what this thing is complaining of. Everything looks good. Name the does check config does z. All the zones are loaded. What's stopping it? What's stopping this thing? It's listening on 192. This listening on this port 53. That's good. Application is start. Allow query. It's allowing query to any and localhost. I'm using localhost. So this should be okay. Sorry guys, let me see spy on the phone. And this will go through the root servers. This config looks fine. I don't know why this is not working, but the configs look okay for me. Let me see. This is crazy. Now forward.db. Well, let me see how this is handling its cd cd vi to slash etc name d dot name d dot rfc 1912 dot zones. What did I define here? Allow update to known. Yes, that's true. I don't want to allow update to anybody, but I equally allowed query. I did allow query, so that should not be the problem. Because this query is already, I did allow query. This file does not have any issues that I can see. Let me see. It's forward.db master file type master allow update known. Yep. Zone class.local. This is a zone right here, class.local. Which the zone is okay. Now in service of authority, let me see what's the service of authority. VI to forward. VI to CD to name DB. VI to forward.db. Okay. Yo. There's no error here. Let me see. That doesn't even make sense. Name server is correct. Guys, give me 1 second. Let me see. All right, guys. I think I've been troubleshooting for a while. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. So, give me like, let me see. You can give me like 5 minutes again. Let me see what's wrong with this thing. System CTL restart, name the, and I configured it with no locks. So it's difficult for me now to, let me see, cd to slash etc. Name db, let me list on C, cd2. Nah. So, vi into, and I have these notes somewhere. It's been so long I haven't touched this thing. I hate buying. Okay. All right, guys, give me 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, if I don't figure out what's wrong, you guys can log out and go. Let me see. Let me try to figure out in 5 minutes what's wrong. So guys, hello. Sorry, this is giving me a little bit of issues because I think everything is right, but for some reason I am unable to get the records. But I did add the logs. I added logs, and I can see that when I query, it's giving me right here. From the logs right there, I don't see any errors that it's really giving me. But let me see.
Yeah. Are you sharing?
Yes. Can you guys
Oh,
see my screen?
no, we can see the screen for a
Oh.
while. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Let me share my screen. I do see it having some timeout issues. Let me see. Oh, let me see. Where's my screen? So I've added logs. Can you guys see my screen? I've added logs just to see if I can see any errors from the file. I can't really see any errors right here. Okay, let me see. Oh, I see some errors here. Okay. Class.local not loaded. Permission denied. Jesus Christ. I've been here for how many hours just because of permissions? God, Jesus Christ. I hate this BS, man. You see, the reason why, this is why we teach permissions. Okay, you guys should look at me being held up also on. This should help you guys learn why permissions are very important and locks are very important. Now, from the logs, I can see actually what's wrong. And oh my God. Okay, you see, let's go and see this error together. See, cd2 slash hc slash var named cd2 slash var named. So we've been here for these hours because this file belongs to root. Can you see the permissions? Only the root user has read write. The application is running with named. But the file that I created, I forgot the step of giving permissions to. So there's no issue actually. Okay. Are you guys still here? Hello?
Yes, sir, we are here.
Yes, we are here.
I'm sorry. There's actually no issue on the file. But the issue is there's no issue with DNS, but the issue is permission. You guys can check my permissions right here. So what I did is I finally configured logs because I wanted to do something simple. I forgot to change the permissions when I created the files. Now this file belongs to root and it's read write for root and nobody has anything. So what's happening is when the named application, because it's running with user named, it's coming here to say, please give me the records that are in this file. Root is saying you do not have permissions to open this file. That's all that's happening. That's why I say I don't see any error on the records. But for some reason, I won't get any result. So what I did, when you guys were not seeing my screen, I thought I was sharing. vi2 slash etc slash etc slash named.conf. So what I did is I added like a lot of information, but you're not obliged to add this. Just make sure you change the permission when you're done. When you're done with yours, just change the permission. That's it. So I added these other channels in here just to like channel logs to different places and all the like, so that I can actually separate the logs and look at the logs on what's happening. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to add this. Whatever thing we had in the beginning is fine. The only difference, I'll cut these files and show you. It's a permission. So can someone give us the command to change these permissions to make sure this works? Chown root named and it's so that it will have a read. Systemctl restart named and let's see now. Dig, at least that's one error that I saw. Dig repo dot class dot local. You see, now it's working. Now I'm getting an answer. I'm sorry guys, I've taken your time for nothing. Yeah, so if I cut my records in here, cut forward.gb, your files should look like this with your own IPs. Okay, your files should look like this. If I cut reverse.db, it should look like this. Your two files should look like this. And when you do a named dash check conf dash z, that's why it got me so confused, because every zone was loading, telling me that there is no error in your files. And I actually checked, there was no errors. But what was happening is the files that I had created, the user that's running the application was unable to run those files, was unable to read those files. But since I did a simple configuration, it became now difficult for me to know what was happening. So what I did to solve the problem is I knew that without logs, I won't know, I will just be guessing. I might be missing something. But when I checked the logs, I saw that it was a permission issue. So I modified the permissions. You see, it's telling me here, forward.db. It's unable to load it, permission denied. Now it's working fine. So if I build a new server, if I do build a new server, which is, let me just say this is a server right here. If I build this server right here, right? Let the server come up. Let's just change the IP. So vi/it's network manager system connections bond 0. I change this to, all right, let me modify this network. So I change this to 192.168.0.196. 176. Anyone? Thank you for
Yeah,
the typo.
192.
Okay.
Okay.
Over 24. Over 24. Then let me put the gateway 192.168.0.1. Can you believe permissions held me all this time? Now my
So,
DNS server is not more 1.1. Okay, I see it. My DNS server will be the new DNS server that I have 192.1.
so they have an error on the default gateway.
Okay, I'll
With
change it.
111.
Thank you very much. 168.0.200. That's now my DNS server. It's not more 1.1. So 192. I have it here, right? This is my DNS right here. 192.168.1. I've modified my network. I mean, this is another way of modifying network, but don't use this way, please, too much. If you don't understand it, don't use the one you know. So I save and go out. I'm just using this because I want to be fast. And do systemctl, restart, network manager. I ping and 8.8.8. Okay, good. I have network. Clear. Great. Let me use Spotty to log in into this server. Mobile XTEM. Let me see. What is it? What did I put? It was 176, right?
Yeah.
So if I log into 192.168.0.176 as Jifra, okay, accept. Great. This is the server right here. Okay, this is the server right here, right? Now, let me change hostname CTL. Set dash hostname to LDAP. Let's call this LDAP dot class dot local. Okay, hostname CTL. You see, if I cat /etc resolve, what is DNS server 192.168.0, which is our DNS server. Are we together? Our DNS server, which is right here. This is our DNS server right here. This, let me bring this here, reattach. This is our DNS server right here. Let me make it red so you can see it. This is our DNS server. Now, let's say this is our new server, host name. This is our host name, ldap.this. If I ping this, okay, it works, right? It's working with IPv6. It's working with IPv6 ping ldap.class.local. If I dig this, I dig ldap.class.local, I can't get it, right? I can't get it. The answer is 0. I asked the query from this server that, hey, do you have any records of LDAP does this? Now my DNS server responded this server and saying, no, I do not have any records. Now, if we go into our DNS server and actually add a record, vi2 forward.db. So this is what you do at work. They will give you, when you buy a domain from GoDaddy, this is what GoDaddy does, right? They give you the domain and you own it, right? That's just, let's just say that's how it goes. Although it's a little bit more complex than that. So let me do LDAP here in address. What was our address again? 192.168.0.1 76. Great. It's safe. Systemctl, reload, named. Now let's try again. We call it, you see, I can see the IP. Now every server that is in this environment can now, you can see, I can now SSH to LDAP. Can you see? It gave me the IP already. Like, I don't need to use IPs anymore. It's going and taking the name from the LDAP server. If I ping LDAP, can you see? Right here. Now, imagine that I have 100 servers. Before I'll have to go and look for this IP. If you have 1,000 servers, that means you have to log into that server. You need to go to inventory and all the like. If they say, for example, if they say maybe there's an active issue, maybe they tell you like one of the web server 1 is having issues. You just say SSH to web server 1. If it's already in DNS, or they say the LDAP server is having an issue, I just say SSH to gferai at LDAP. I give my password. I'll give the wrong password. I don't even know the password anymore. What's the password on that server? I don't know. Oh, LDAP SSH to this. Is it gferai is even right? Great. Okay, now that's the right password. You see, this is the LDAP server. Easy. I'm in here. I can now start working and going. I can now just start like switch to root. If I do IPA, you guys can see that I'm under the 176 server right here. Now, if I want to ping the repo server, if I want to configure my repo, for example, if my repos are right here and I want to configure a repo that's right here, let me see, systemctl status, what? Status HTTPD. Right, I'm running a repo here on this server, which if I do hostname CTL, so the hostname is ldap.local, this. If I cd to /etc yum.repos.d, let me vi into london.repo. Instead of having, let me change this, let me see. HTTPS or HTTP this, Lord Jesus Christ, what's the host name of this thing? Exit host name. This is my repo server, repo.class.local. I just copied the name right here. Now I can now use name http this, http that, and same thing here. I don't even need to know the IP anymore. I just use the names. It will do a name resolution by itself from DNS http repo-server.class.local. You see? And let me do a yum repo list -v. Great. You see, my repos are coming from what? You don't more see an IP, right? The IP is gone. You don't see an IP anymore. Now we are using what? A DNS server to resolve these host names. Is that understood? Whenever you rewatch the video, when you reach on where I start troubleshooting, just change your own permissions. Just change your permissions and test. That's it. That's all you needed. You didn't need all this 10, 30 minute or 40 minute of troubleshooting. All right, guys, then that will be it for DNS. See you next week on storage, okay?
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
I'm sorry it took a little bit of time for me to like figure out what was going wrong. And it was the simplest of things, permissions. All right, take care, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Bye. Just know that with the project, you have to build your own DNS server. Okay? The
Yes,
4
sir.
servers that you have, allow those 4 servers. You have to build your own DNS servers and you make a record of all those 4 servers and make sure you can resolve all the host names of those servers. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So
Alright, take
should
care.
we create a new one or should we just change a server as a DNS? One of the 4 server as a DNS server.
One server can run more than 3 different things, provided they are not using the same port. Okay?
Okay.
Your epoch server can also serve as your DNS server.
Okay.
Just install the DNS package. That's all.